Have you ever felt it? The quiet pressure in your chest, the gnawing sense that something is missing, that life is moving around you, yet you remain frozen, stuck in a loop that no one else seems to notice? You chase dreams, chase approval, chase a version of yourself that feels just out of reach, and still the emptiness lingers. It whispers in the moments when you're alone, when the world quiets down, when you're left with nothing but your own thoughts. You know the ache, you know the frustration, you know the silent scream that no one else can hear. There is a part of you that longs for more than just survival, more than just scraping through each day. It yearns for clarity, for a kind of peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, a quiet strength that doesn't fade when things go wrong. And yet, the harder you push, the more elusive it becomes. You feel life slipping like water through your fingers, and every attempt to hold on only tightens the grip of your anxiety, your doubt, your fear. It's exhausting. It's relentless. And somewhere deep down you wonder if it's meant to be this way forever. But imagine, just for a moment, that this isn't the way it has to be. Imagine that there is a different rhythm, a way to breathe without the constant tension, to move through the world without the heavy weight of expectation pressing on your shoulders. There are people who walk through life with a lightness that seems almost impossible. They carry no visible burden, yet they are not careless. They are awake. And what sets them apart is not luck, not privilege, not extraordinary circumstances. It is something deeper, something most never see, something that changes everything the moment it is understood. Have felt the longing for this kind of freedom. You have glimpsed it in quiet moments, in a laugh that comes unforced, in a sunset that steals your breath. You have sensed that life could feel more vivid, more immediate, more alive, if only you could find the path through the fog. And the truth is, that path exists. It is not found in the chaos outside you, not in achievements, not in possessions. It begins inside, in the raw, undeniable truth of what it means to truly see, to truly feel, to truly let go. Letting go does not mean giving up. It does not mean apathy or weakness. It is a fierce, radical act of clarity. It is the courage to stop fighting against the tide of life and instead allow yourself to flow with it, to recognize the patterns, the cycles, the currents that have been invisible until now. It is a kind of awakening that strips away the illusions you have been carrying, illusions of control, of permanence, of certainty. It is confronting the parts of yourself you have hidden, denied, or ignored, and finally facing them with honesty, without judgment, without fear. In this state, you begin to notice what others overlook. You feel connected in ways you didn't know were possible, as if every moment, every breath, every heartbeat is a thread in the vast tapestry of existence. Fear loses its grip, anxiety softens. The weight of unspoken expectations lifts, and in that lift, a space opens. A space for clarity, for insight, for real presence. It is quiet, but it is alive. It is invisible, yet undeniable. It is the reward for those who are willing to confront the discomfort, the confusion, the tension that has haunted them for so long. You have already taken the first step simply by feeling the restlessness, by sensing that life can be more than the surface. Now you are ready to go deeper, to understand what the awakened see, what they feel, and how their perspective transforms every ordinary moment into something extraordinary. You are ready to witness the truth behind the illusion, the secret that changes not just how you see the world, but how the world moves through you. And in that witnessing, in that presence, you will find the clarity, the peace, and the power that have been waiting quietly, patiently, for you to notice them. It is not easy. It is not simple. It is not something that can be taught in words alone. But if you stay with it, if you allow yourself to open, to feel, to surrender just enough to see clearly, you will discover what so many never do. You will see the world not as a problem to be solved, not as a battle to be won, but as a living, breathing rhythm in which you are both participant and witness. And in that rhythm, you will find the truth that has been whispering to you all along, the truth that the awakened live by, the truth that can finally set you free. The moment you begin to see clearly, the weight of illusion hits harder than ever. Everything you thought was real begins to blur. The certainties you relied on, the plans, the expectations, the endless striving, start to unravel. You realize how much of your life has been spent chasing shadows, trying to grasp control over what was never yours to hold. The familiar patterns, the comfortable routines, the endless lists of shoulds and musts, they suddenly feel hollow, empty, like a house built on sand. And in that emptiness, fear rises. It is raw, intense, demanding. You can feel it gnawing at the edges of your mind, whispering that letting go will cost you everything. That staying awake, seeing the world as it truly is, will strip away the identity you have built. This is the point where most falter. The pull of the old ways is magnetic. It is seductive because it is familiar. But here is the truth: the only way forward is through it. The only way to live free is to confront the chaos, to embrace the uncertainty, to step into the unknown without flinching. Every instinct in your body will scream to retreat, to hide behind comfort, to distract yourself with noise and busyness. But the awakened move differently. They understand that fear is not the enemy. Fear is the signal that you are alive, that you are on the threshold of transformation, that something essential is waiting for you on the other side. You have felt the tension, the anxiety, the subtle dread that life is slipping by unnoticed. That feeling is not a flaw, it is a compass. It points to the gap between who you are and who you could become. Every struggle, every restless night, every moment of self-doubt is fuel for awakening. The awakened do not escape these feelings. They face them fully, without denial, without distraction. They feel the fear, the uncertainty, the chaos, and in that confrontation, they find power. Not the power that comes from control or force, but the power that comes from clarity, from seeing the world as it is and knowing that nothing can break the mind that is fully present. Imagine living without the constant need to manipulate, to chase, to force outcomes. Imagine feeling alive in each moment, connected to the rhythm of life, aware of every subtle vibration of existence. Every step becomes intentional. Every breath becomes a gift. The trivial concerns, the petty grievances, the imagined threats, they fall away. You begin to understand that your suffering has not been a punishment, but a teacher, a guide pointing you toward a higher clarity, a deeper awareness, and the stakes could not be higher. Every day spent in distraction, every moment spent clinging to illusion, is a day you could have lived fully, a day wasted on fear instead of presence. This is why awakening demands courage. It demands relentless honesty. You must confront the stories you tell yourself, the narratives that have kept you small. You must look directly at the illusions you have cherished, of control, of permanence, of identity, and dismantle them piece by piece. It is painful, yes, terrifying, yes, and yet in that pain, in that terror, there is life, there is vibrancy, there is a raw, undeniable aliveness that cannot be experienced any other way. The awakened see the world as fluid, alive, a dance of forces beyond comprehension. They know that clinging to certainty is the source of suffering. They know that resistance is the root of pain. And they live differently because of it. They step lightly, speak softly, act with precision, but their presence is powerful. Their lives are not void of challenge. They face storms, losses, heartbreaks, confusion, but they endure unshaken because they have touched the truth. That truth is simple, yet seismic. Everything is impermanent. Everything flows, and everything you fear losing has never truly belonged to you. You are standing at that same threshold. The fear, the tension, the gnawing discomfort, you feel it for a reason. It is the call to awaken, to see through the illusions, to move beyond the narrow world of self-centered striving into a wider, deeper understanding of life itself. You cannot afford to turn away. Every heartbeat is urging you forward. Every breath is an invitation. The awakened have walked this path, and it is waiting for you too. The world does not wait for hesitation, and neither does life. You can step into clarity, into freedom, into the raw, unfiltered experience of being alive, or you can remain trapped in the illusion, repeating the cycle endlessly. The choice is yours, and it begins the moment you dare to look without flinching. Once you begin to truly see, the world shifts beneath your feet. Nothing is as it seemed. The routines you clung to, the habits you thought defined you, the plans that gave you a false sense of safety, they crumble. And in that collapse, a void appears, vast and terrifying. It stares back at you with quiet intensity, demanding that you either step into it or retreat into the familiar illusions that have kept you small. The fear rises, yes, but it is no longer a whisper. It is a roar. It presses against your chest, your mind, your every instinct. And yet within that roar lies the heartbeat of life itself, unmasked, raw, and relentless. To turn away is to remain trapped. To confront it is to awaken. The choice is not hypothetical. Every moment spent ignoring this call is a moment lost, a life half-lived, a potential unrealized. You have glimpsed the truth before, in fleeting instants, in quiet sparks of clarity. You have felt it in the beauty of a moment, the weight of a gaze, the pulse of something larger than yourself. And now, it is demanding more than a glance. It is demanding presence, courage, and the willingness to let everything fall away until only what is real remains. The awakened understand that life is not a problem to be solved. It is a river, wild and unstoppable, and the harder you fight, the deeper you sink. They move with it, sensing its currents, riding its eddies, surrendering without giving up. This is not weakness, it is precision, it is power, it is freedom. And it is available to you if you can bear the intensity of seeing clearly, of feeling deeply, of existing without the shields you have worn for so long. Every fear you carry is a gateway. Every anxiety, every doubt, every restless night is an invitation to step further into understanding. Nothing you fear losing is truly yours to hold. Every attachment, every expectation, every imagined necessity is a chain that keeps you from the living truth. The awakened have seen through these chains. They know that to cling is to suffer, and to surrender is to rise. They embrace impermanence, uncertainty, and the chaos of existence, not because they are unafraid, but because they have recognized the futility of resistance. In that recognition, they are unshakable. Your life has been shaped by distraction, by chasing illusions, by believing in permanence where none exists. You have been taught to measure yourself against others, to accumulate, to protect, to resist. And now all of it falters under the clarity of awareness. This clarity is not gentle. It is not kind. It strips you bare. It exposes the habits, the lies, the fears that have defined you. And in that exposure, there is a brutal honesty, a reckoning. You can no longer hide from yourself. You can no longer pretend. You can no longer settle. The stakes have never been higher. And yet, with this intensity comes profound liberation. To see the impermanence of all things is to understand that nothing can truly harm you. Nothing can truly bind you. You are not the fears you hold, nor the failures you have suffered, nor the expectations you have chased. You are presence itself, unbroken, alive, aware. And when you recognize this, the world opens. Every moment becomes rich, vibrant, charged with possibility. You begin to move with life rather than against it. You begin to act from clarity rather than impulse. You begin to live, truly live, in a way that the unawakened can only glimpse. Do not let the comfort of old illusions seduce you back into the familiar. The intensity you feel, the unease, the pressure, it is the threshold. Step through it, and nothing will ever be the same. You will see the patterns, the rhythms, the flows that others miss. You will feel the interconnectedness that has been quietly humming beneath the surface of existence. You will touch the freedom that comes from surrender without resignation. And in that touch, you will discover the secret that the awakened have carried all along. Life is not something to be controlled, endured, or feared. It is something to be experienced fully, deeply, with courage and presence. You are at the edge. You feel it. You know it. The choice is immediate, unavoidable, relentless. Step forward, embrace the intensity, confront the fear, and awaken. Or step back and remain bound by illusion, watching life flow around you, never touching the pulse of what is real. There is no pause, no delay, no second chance. The river waits for no one. The call has come. The moment is now. The edge is sharper than you imagined. The fear that pulses through you now is not a warning, it is a signal. Every instinct screaming to run, every thought insisting you hide, is proof that you are on the verge of transformation. You have lived in half-light for too long, clinging to illusions that promised security and delivered nothing but fatigue. Every compromise, every excuse, every small surrender has carved a quiet despair into your life. And now it confronts you in full, demanding attention, demanding choice, demanding that you face the raw truth of your existence without flinching. The awakened do not flinch. They stare into the chaos, into the uncertainty, into the endless unknown, and they see possibility. They see the infinite unfolding beneath the surface of what the world shows most. They feel the pulse of life, unshackled from expectation, unbound by the constraints of fear. And in that pulse they move with purpose, with clarity, with a power that is invisible yet undeniable. This is not mystical. It is not inaccessible. It is a perception, a way of being, a radical shift in how one inhabits reality. It is brutal in its honesty, yet liberating beyond words. Every attachment you cling to, every outcome you insist on controlling, every belief that keeps you small, it is a chain. The longer you hold on, the heavier it becomes. It is exhausting. It is lonely. It is unnecessary. And yet most will fight tooth and nail to maintain these chains, mistaking suffering for structure, resistance for strength. The awakened understand that strength is not found in grasping, it is found in letting go. It is found in the courage to meet life as it is, fully, unflinchingly, with all the uncertainty and impermanence that comes with it. You feel it now, the tension, the ache, the electric charge of awareness. It is not comfortable, it is not gentle. It is alive, and it is yours. Every moment spent denying it, every moment spent retreating into distraction, is a moment you will never reclaim. Every heartbeat is a call, every breath a reminder that life is not something to be postponed, rationed, or negotiated. It is happening, right now, in you, through you, and around you. To ignore it is to remain asleep, to engage it is to awaken. Imagine living with that clarity. Imagine moving through the world without the weight of falsehood, without the tension of constant striving, without the illusions that make every moment heavier than it needs to be. You would see patterns where others see chaos, opportunities where others see obstacles, truth where others see fear. Your decisions would not be reactive. They would be precise, grounded in a direct perception of reality. Your life would not be dictated by circumstance. It would be shaped by presence. And every choice, every step, every breath would carry the vitality of someone fully alive. The stakes are nothing less than everything. Every day spent clinging to illusion, hiding from fear, postponing awareness is a day lost. Every compromise, every concession to comfort, every shrug toward mediocrity keeps you from what you are capable of being. The awakened understand that life is finite, that the currents of existence will not wait for hesitation, that the opportunity to perceive clearly, to act decisively, to live fully is now, in this very moment. Delay is surrender. Indecision is bondage. Only action, only presence, only courage, only facing the raw pulse of reality will carry you beyond the edge into freedom. You are ready. You have felt the pull. You have sensed the gap between your current life and the life you could inhabit if you only dared. The intensity, the fear, the tension, they are your compass, pointing toward awakening. There is no pause, no rehearsal, no safety net. The world will not wait. Life will not pause for your hesitation. You must step forward into clarity, into presence, into the unflinching reality of what it means to be alive. It will be difficult. It will be uncomfortable. It will demand everything you think you are. And in that demand you will discover power, freedom, and a depth of life that is indescribable but undeniable. This is the call. The moment is here. The fear is real, and so is the possibility. Do not look away. Do not delay. Step into the intensity, embrace the uncertainty, and awaken. Everything that matters is waiting on the other side of this choice. Every heartbeat, every breath, every instant calls you forward. Do not ignore it. Do not resist it. You are ready to see. You are ready to live. You are ready to be awake. Every moment you hesitate, the world continues without you. Every thought that doubts, every excuse that lingers, every fear that whispers not yet is stealing the very life you were meant to live. You can feel it in your bones. The tension, the tightness, the quiet frustration of knowing you are capable of more, of being more, yet watching it slip through your fingers. The awakened understand this friction as a signal, not a barrier. They know that the edge, the discomfort, the restless ache is the doorway to something profound. And it is a doorway you are being called to walk through now, whether you are ready or not. Everything you have held on to, the plans, the safety nets, the definitions of who you are, is fragile. It was never as solid as you thought, and the world, relentless and indifferent, moves on, reshaping itself with or without your consent. The awakened see this truth and stop resisting. They stop fighting the currents that cannot be tamed. They stop building walls against the tide. They step into it fully, with all the fear, all the doubt, all the raw intensity that life demands. And they find themselves alive in ways that defy expectation. They discover freedom not as a concept, but as a living, breathing reality in every heartbeat. Your fear is not your enemy. It is the ignition, the spark that tells you something critical is about to unfold. The anxiety, the unease, the sharp ache of longing, they are proof that you are on the verge of seeing the world as it truly is. The awakened do not quiet this fire. They let it guide them. They let it illuminate the illusions, the habits, the clinging, and they let it drive them to act, to move, to exist fully, completely, without reservation. And in that existence, they find what most spend a lifetime searching for in vain: clarity, presence, and an unshakable inner strength that no circumstance can erode. You have lived in the shadow of this potential for too long. You have accepted partial truths, comfortable lies, easy distractions, and hollow victories. And every day the tension grows. Every day the longing becomes sharper, more insistent. It is a call you cannot ignore. Every instinct in your body, every pulse in your mind, every quiet whisper in your soul is urging you to move beyond the ordinary, beyond the predictable, beyond the smallness that has kept you safe but never alive. This is the moment to answer that call, not tomorrow, not later, but now, before another day slips unnoticed into the void. The awakened see patterns, connections, and currents invisible to the untrained eye. They understand that life is not a series of problems to solve, but a river to navigate. They move with it, sensing its rhythm, its flow, its hidden harmonies, and they discover that surrender is not weakness, it is mastery. They act decisively because they perceive clearly. They choose wisely because they feel deeply. Every step is intentional. Every breath is a tool. Every decision is aligned with the truth of the moment, not the illusion of permanence. And that precision creates a life that is not just lived, but fully experienced, radiant with depth and meaning. You are capable of this. You are closer than you realize. The fear you feel, the pressure, the ache of unfulfilled potential, they are signposts pointing toward awakening. You can no longer afford to wait. The world will not pause for hesitation. Life will not slow for fear. The opportunity to step fully into presence, to claim clarity, to inhabit freedom, is here. It is urgent. It is intense. It is relentless. And it is waiting for you to rise to it, to step forward, to embrace the truth of your own being without compromise, without delay, without retreat. The choice is immediate. The call is unmistakable. To step forward is to awaken, to see, to feel, to live fully. To turn away is to remain trapped in shadow. To surrender moments that will never return, to deny yourself the depth and richness of life itself. The edge is here. The intensity is yours to meet. The fire is real. Step into it. Embrace it. Let it transform you. Every fear, every hesitation, every heartbeat is urging you to awaken. The moment is now, and nothing will wait.